This desk is literally falling apart, and it's mine. Here it is, my next project. I am refinishing a desk for myself. I have been doing content creation now for years, along with all my furniture refinishing, of course, from the kitchen counter, from the dining table, and it's time for a dedicated workspace. Of course, I got this off of Facebook Marketplace for free because I'm replacing what I thought was going to be my desk, this little secretary. And I thought, all I have is a laptop. I can sit anywhere. But that was proving to just be not a great scenario because I was just sitting at the kitchen counter. And then when you have people over, you've got to move all your stuff. And like, you know what? It's time. So I am going to be, and I'll show this entire process at some point because I'm doing a couple pieces of furniture for this space. But I got this one off of Facebook Marketplace for free. And yes, it is falling apart. It's very old, and the drawer face looked like it's been repaired several times and it's not staying put. But I'm going to figure it out because I like the design of this desk. And why not rescue a piece of furniture for myself? So I'm getting everything cleaned up. It was a very dirty, and you can see when I'm spraying, does it look kind of orange? I think the finish is coming off as I'm cleaning it. It's very dirty. So I'm not sure what's coming off, but it looks to me like it has been refinished at some point and maybe it didn't get sealed real well, or I'm not sure. But I definitely had to give that a really good cleaning. I'm getting all this old hardware off, and I was kind of keeping it. I was putting everything back together. They had little rosettes and the knobs. I'm not sure that I'm going to use them, but I really liked them. So I'm keeping those for another project. But I just need to give everything a good cleaning because I want this to have good adhesion. I don't know what's on there, and I don't know what's coming off as I'm wiping it. So is it just dirt? Is it stain? Is it, I don't know what, but it came off, and that definitely would not help adhesion of my new products. It also had these drawer liners in all the drawers. The owner that has had this for a long time said she put those in there. They're just not quite my style, so I went ahead and removed all of those. Cute for, being in a vintage desk, but I'm going to brighten this up and make it a little more cheerful and do something that fits my vibe. The first thing I needed to do, though, was get off all of this old glue. These drawer faces had been repaired. There was a couple of them I could tell had been repaired. And the glue that was used looked like it was probably like Gorilla Glue or something. And I had to get all of that off of there to make space for the drawer to fit into its place, and then also for my glue. So as soon as I got everything into place and remove all the old nails and things that were in there, and add some wood glue so that I can get everything put back together. This is a big, heavy drawer, typically. This is a bottom drawer, so it's meant to hold a bunch of things. It looked like it didn't quite fit into this space very well, and it's probably why the drawer face was continuing to come off. So I'm going to adjust that just to make sure it all fits. But then get everything glued and brad nailed and clamped, and I'm just going to let this sit and heal. This poor thing's been through a lot. So I'm hoping that now that's nice and stable and I can enjoy this now for years to come because I really think this is going to last me a long time. So a little more glue and a few more clamps because why not? I'm all for reinforcements. Time to start working on the top. Now, I have some ideas in my head of what I want to do because, of course, this is going in my own home. So it's got to be a style that's going to work for me. And I start just stripping the top. So I'm using a sanding net on my surf prep just to see what we're working with here. And it was actually coming off pretty well. This is just 120 grit sanding net. And I do like to strip pieces with a sanding net because I just have better airflow through the vacuum. It doesn't get built up on sandpaper. And this was just a weird refinish. And I can see now all the tons of pigtails. So it was previously stripped. I had a feeling, but I'm going to start with 120 grit with my orbital. I started with the surf prep and decided to switch to the orbital just because this is a large area and this will cover things a little bit faster. So I have 120 grit on here to finish getting down through that next layer. This is a solid wood piece, so I'm not working with veneer or anything, and now can just continue to sand through the layers. And I'm just now taking off the rest of the stain. So I don't know how much of the stain was original or if that was something that had been put on there years ago, but it's got to go. But what I am exposing is just a really pretty wood grain. And now that I have the majority of the top stripped, I have to do all of the edges. And a lot of times I get out the contour sanding blocks and do those by hand, but I decided to just cut up an interface pad, stick it on my sander, and then put the sanding net over that. And this is kind of a little hack that I've done before, and it actually works really good. You can buy some little sanding blocks that go on top of your sander to do this with, but I find they're never quite the right shape, and so I can make one with the interface pad. And then I'm sanding all of those areas along the edge with a sander instead of by hand. I love doing little hacks like this that just save me some time and save my fingers and hands. So this just works out really nicely to get in there and get that space done. So you can see that that little is just fitting right into that groove and sanding away the rest of all of that stain and finish. So whenever you can create some sort of little hack that saves you time, I love it. And now just one more pass over everything with the surf prep, and I did put the whole pad on there now to get in that. You can see that there is a crack that runs down almost the entire length of the top of this. As with most pieces like this, it's multiple boards that are put together and laminated together. And over the years, they've just separated either from, the hot and cold in our houses or humidity or things like that. So I put some wood glue down that crack, and I am using some sanding dust out of my sander to go ahead and mix this together to create kind of a wood putty to go in that. And then I'm just mixing sanding dust and glue. I could have done this with wood filler, but what I wanted to do was create something that was the same color as the piece I'm working on. And then it dried, and it's hard as a rock. That glue is like cement. It's very hard. And I was like, why am I sanding this when I could just scrape it off, save myself some time? And so I'm just taking the bulk of it off the top with my carbide scraper just to get through it all, because it was really hard. Much harder than regular wood filler. But I think that repair is now going to last a lifetime. It's not going anywhere. And it really filled everything in, and you can't even see it. This is a really good hack. People use it all the time. It's nothing new. I just don't show it very often because I haven't had an opportunity, but this was the perfect piece for it. And now I'm just scuff sanding the rest of the piece. Just going to go over everything. Pretty much going to use the pad on my sander over the rest of it. Most of these spots are all with some type of detail, so there's something raised, and it's just easier if you have the pad on there to go over everything. All right, I've got some wood putty out. This is a new product from Starbond, and they make all kinds of wood fillers and things, and I wanted to try this out because I love a good epoxy wood filler. It's really hard and very stable, and it doesn't shrink. So you just cut off a piece, and you see it was like a dark two colors, and you mix them together until it's all uniform, and I'm using it in the hole. So I'm going to be doing just this center drawer with a different piece of hardware. And so that was all I needed to fill in, but a good place to go ahead and try a new product. And now just continuing to scuff sand everything. I needed to fill in some of the cracks. Now these aren't necessarily cracks, they're just the seams. And when you have something stained, you don't see these seams very well. And when you paint something, those seams will stand out and they look awful because it makes it look like you have big cracks. So if you fill it in with some wood filler that is water-based, and then you take a wet rag, you can actually just wipe a lot of that off without having to sand it back. So it's a great repair, and you can see that it fills that right in, and I didn't have to do any sanding. And then if you need to go back over it, you can just add a little bit more and then wipe the rest back, and it saves you some sanding. Now I'm taping off all the edges of the drawers. Now this is not a high-end piece with dovetails and all the beautiful things, but I still want to create a nice straight line because it really does tie everything together. And then I don't have to go back and touch up these edges. I'm going to be able to spray this with the drawers like that, almost in their place, but not quite. So now I'm just taking some tan paint. I don't know if you can guess what I'm doing next, but I'm creating a tan wash. And so I'm mixing it with some water, and I didn't measure this one. I wanted to dilute it out quite a bit, so I dumped quite a bit of water in there because I really want to control how much is going on, and I'd rather do more coats and be able to control the color than just do one coat and been like, oh no, I put too much paint on there because now I can't see any of the wood grain. So I'm just doing thin coats. And when you do thin coats like this, I find they come out more even if you don't wipe it back. So when you're doing the thicker coats, you really need to put it on there and then wipe it off. But I'm finding in that wiping off is when I create the areas that may not necessarily look as even. But when I just wipe it on and get it on there nice and even, everything dries so beautifully. So this is one of my favorite ways to do a tan wash is to just dilute the paint out a little bit more. And it looks all uneven now because that first area was already starting to dry. But I'm doing multiple coats. So it is drying and I go back and just do one coat after another. I think I ended up doing 3 to 4, and each coat will give you just a little bit more color and a little more uniformity. So, you just monitor it. You can see it dried there. Look how beautiful it dried down. And here we are again with another coat. And again, in my mind, I'm just envisioning it in my house. So I'm going with the colors of what I think are going to work in that space, which means I needed a little more paint. Once I got it all nice and dry and just how I wanted, I'm going to go ahead and tape everything off so that I can start doing some top coat. Now this is going to be a pretty heavily used piece, so I'm going to do lots of top coat. And top coat is another area where you can continue to amend the color. So if I was looking at this and I thought, now this is too light, or I need to warm it up a little bit, you can add a touch of stain to your top coat and it will just, warm it up or whatever you need to add to it. So after that dried, I'm going to sand in between coats and I'm just going to continue to do one coat after another of top coat. Again, in a piece that I know is going in my house and how much I'm going to use this, I really am going to spend all the time doing extra coats. And this is something that I do not just because it's mine, but I usually do in a high use type of piece like this, multiple coats. So I ended up doing 5, I think. Okay, I've got drawer guide after drawer guide that is broken or completely missing, and so I just replaced a bunch of them. I had some on hand, and thankfully they worked right in that space because the ones that were in there were very old and they don't make that style anymore, but I really lucked out with the ones that I happen to have on hand. And now this is my cute drawer liner that's going into my piece. I think this is one of my favorite liners because it's just such a neutral color. But I love the watercolor designs on these flowers. So it just totally fits me and my vibe. So this is what's going in every drawer of I know this isn't really very desk-like, but I like it. And I needed to put a new liner in just because it previously had one. I think those are super cute. I don't always line the drawers before I start painting, but I just decided to. I don't know why. Okay, I think because I was waiting for this to dry and it was something I could do while I was waiting. I got the top all protected and taped off, and now I'm going to start priming, and I'm going to have to spin this in this tent, and this piece has a finished back. Normally this is backer board, so I don't paint the backs, but this has a finished back, so I'm going to go ahead and do all sides. I'm just priming everything with a good coat of primer, a good adhesion primer. I don't know what was on there. There was definitely some stain and things that were on there that was coming off when I was cleaning it. So I want to make sure and use a good quality primer. And there's a lot of areas on a desk. So in this area where you sit and then the back, everything, this actually took quite a lot of product. And now I just sanded everything smooth and wiped it back, and this is my color. Now this is a color that I already have in my house. It's a color that I mixed up years ago when I was doing some trim, and I decided to paint the little kick out for my chimney that's on the inside of my house, and it's a couple of my colors of my house. It's like the outer house color and the color of the garage door mixed together. I don't know how I came up with that or decided to do it, but here it is. And after I started painting, I realized I'm painting my desk with my exterior paint. This is leftover from my house and from that project, and I was like, well, I could go get it color matched, but I already painted the chimney on the inside of the house with it years ago, and it's doing just fine. So here I am on my free desk that's falling apart for myself, painting it with exterior paint. Yes, only the best for me. Not something that I would normally recommend or do, but you know what? It's working out just fine. And it does have a little bit of a different texture. Exterior paint it has a different formula to it. But as long as I'm priming and I'm top coating, it's actually going to work out just fine. All right, so I did multiple coats of that, and I think I ended up having to spin this thing around like 3 or 4 times just to get all sides. And now I'm applying some top coat. And again, multiple layers of top coat will go on this for durability on a high use piece like this. If this was a dresser or something I knew that was going to sit in my guest bedroom and hardly get anything and no one's ever going to touch it, I probably wouldn't do quite so many layers of top coat, but I know I'm going to be using this on a daily basis. All right, once everything dried, I was able to undo that and see that I didn't get any overspray on my beautiful top. Yay. I love this tape. Now I'm using 2 different kinds of tape and I'm going to list them because the blue duct tape is the best. I just love that stuff. All right, taking everything off and now I've got some nice clean lines on the sides. I'm putting some hardware on here. I don't have the hardware that I think I'm really going to use, but I think this will do for now. So you can see the before and the after. I think this came a long way. And is it something that will now go in my house? Yep. So I'm really happy with it. I'm so loving the fact that I got this thing falling apart, free off of Marketplace, and now it's something that's going to go in my house. So I put it in my house. This is right where it's going to sit. This room I'm going to go over in another video about why I'm using this room. And it was way too orange. So it just was not going to match and it was going to drive me crazy forever. And so I got out some gel stains and I am applying a natural gel stain color. It's actually called Au Naturel. And it's not going to cover everything completely. So I'm still going to be able to see all this wood grain, but it's just going to amend this color a little bit more. And I'm putting it right over the top coat. And this is a gel stain that actually has top coat in it. Even though I'm going to continue to put more layers of top coat on it, you don't have to. So I am creating a base now, and you can see that that color completely changed. I left it wet, that did not dry, and now I am using multiple colors because I'm going to create an entirely different look. I'm using a charcoal, a dark brown, and white. And I've done this technique before on a dining table and I absolutely loved it. And once I got this into my house, I thought that color's not going to work. Let me go ahead and put some gel stains on here. And so as you can see, as you start wiping it and it's creating its own like faux wood grain look. Now I can still see the wood grain even through it of the original, but it's also creating this. It's a super interesting technique, and I think it comes out absolutely stunning. Does this fit better now with all the other colors in my house? Absolutely. And I'm so happy that I decided to do that. And I'm also going to protect the top with a piece of custom glass. Now I measured everything carefully and I have a local glass company that cut this for me. They also did some nightstands for me and my dining table. I don't know why I like to put glass on things, but I just feel more comfortable with something that I know I'm going to use a lot and I spend a lot of time on it. Sometimes they're very expensive pieces, and so I have glass cut for them. So I cleaned everything and I'm going to set this on top and then take all of those little cork things off of there. Those are just, I'm sure how they're shipped to the glass company so that everything's got spacers in it to keep them from sticking together and cracking. Get all of that off of there. Give it another good cleaning. Now it's going to be harder to see all of the finish on the top through the glass because the glass, of course, is going to reflect everything, but you'll be able to see it here. I love it now. It wasn't going to work before, but I absolutely love it now. And I did change the hardware to silver and added the pull on the center drawer. My whole house has everything in brushed nickel, so this is what worked. But I love this top now. And this is the place where I'm going to be creating all my content and creating this particular video and answering all of your questions and comments. And I can't wait to show you the cabinet that I am also refinishing that's going to be sitting right behind me. And I'm so excited about that cabinet. It's so beautiful. I can't wait for you to see it. But if you're interested in learning how to refinish furniture, maybe to do some projects for your own home, be sure to check out my entire suite of learning guides on my website. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to hit that subscribe button to follow for more.